Hello and welcome. Happy Friday. Today, you are going to hear from incubated authors who published their books less than a year ago. Our theme this week, as you all have seen, is Drop the Excuses and Get Your Book Done, how 25 authors face their fears to make a difference for thousands of readers. Today, we have 7 authors to present alongside the 18 you got to meet yesterday. These authors have been picked up for distribution in traditional channels like Target, Barnes & Noble, and other bookstores around North America. And today we are so happy to tell you that those books are available for pre-order. We're celebrating the pre-launch of these authors' books, which will appear in bookstores starting November 5th and rolling out through January 7th, with the exception of one author whose book is already available. Today, we're going to discuss what happens after you publish your book. You will learn what these authors have done in order to keep momentum going and continue making a difference a year after launching. I am Trevor McCrae, publishing director here at the Author Incubator, and I have been with these authors every step of the way of their publishing journey, from finishing their ebooks to preparing for the print book to hit bookstores, and now with the audiobooks that you're going to hear about today. I'm so excited to share these books with you. As a way to say thank you for joining us today, we have prepared their audiobooks for early distribution so that the first 20 viewers to request them will get their audiobooks for free. I repeat, the first 20 viewers to request them will get these audiobooks for free. Here is how. Follow these directions, y'all. All you have to do to get it is to act now. Click the request the free audiobook button below. Enter your information so we know where to send it. And if you're in the first 20 viewers to request it, you'll receive it via email. You will also see that the links to buy the books are below too. If you pre-order now, you'll receive the book in print as soon as it's available. I'm so excited to introduce to you our first author, the author of Secrets of the Zen Business Warrior, 7 Steps to Grow Your Business, Feel Excited and Stay Motivated Again, Lena Bettencourt. Lena,
Hi, Trevor.
congratulations.
Thank you very much, Trevor. Oh my goodness. Yes, there you have it.
Lena,
Hi, everybody.
let's start with you tell me about this book. This book, which has a foreword by the CEO of Zappos, so it's legit.
It's
Tell me
legit.
about this book.
Okay, yes. So this book, I wrote this book to help business owners to transform their businesses into a money and happiness making machine. And so the secret of the Zen Business Warrior, what it does is that it combines the principles and the tools and the energy, because that's part of it too, of the business warrior, which is the energy of whatever it takes attitude to conquer all obstacles, to have determination, to work really hard. But I also put there everything that has to do with the Zen. And the Zen energy and the Zen principles is more of alignment, is more of certainty, clarity, so that combining both of these, you become unstoppable. And why I know this? Because I've been in business for 17 years. And so everything that I wrote in my book is because I've done it, and it has paid off. And now is the time to share all of this with business owners as well.
So I know that you have been sharing it with business owners over the past several months since your book launched. Walk me through how it's gone and tell me a story of someone who's gotten their Zen and gotten their business warrior on.
I love it. First of all, it has been an amazing, I want to say unbelievable journey since 12 months ago when we launched our book in Amazon and it became a bestseller. It's like I couldn't just believe that. And over the past 12 months, what I've been working with my clients, there is one very close to my heart, and I'm going to talk about more on the Zen business and the Zen energy. So he tells me that after working with me, he realized that not everything in his life for the past almost 20 years that he's been in business had to be tied to his bank account or had to be tied to the last line of the profit and loss. He was able to find, after he worked with me, that alignment, that peace of mind that allowed him to know that everything is well. And if some things are not well at the moment, it's because you're learning something. And not everything being in business is not just about money. There is a very well-known phrase that says the worst failure that you can have is financial success without fulfillment. And he took that to the heart. He took that to the heart. It doesn't mean that he's not doing better now in his business, but he is not suffering every single day when he would take a look at his statements and they were not the way he wanted them to be. So now he's in another place to continue taking action, but to be more at peace and to know that everything happens for a reason and he's always there to assist us. So that's one. That's one that I love because it's really to my heart.
That's so inspiring. Like I appreciate that he actually was able to kind of like shift his mindset. I think you're shifting frequencies with this book. So tell me about when your mindset shifted, when you became the first Zen business warrior. What's your story?
So my story is like this. So I've been in business 17 years, and I believe that during the first 7 years of my business, I did what is usually written in all books. You work hard, you do your strategies, do your tactics, do your marketing, and if you work hard, you will have the results. I did that. I did all of that, but things were not quite happening the way I wanted them to happen. Because when we go into business, our own business, we do it at the beginning for one reason, and that is to make money, right? So I went into business for that reason. I put in the money, the effort, and the time. And around the seventh year, things were just okay. And something happened. Something big happened. All the investments that we had crashed along with all that happened 10 years ago in 2008, 2010. So we lost everything. And when something like that, Trevor, happens in your life, you have to stop and ask the questions. And that was my turning point. I asked the question. So, okay, so this is it. What do I really want in life? What do I want and when do I want that to happen? Which is a very important question. I thought I knew what I wanted 7 years before that, but I wasn't quite there. So when I asked myself that question, I came back saying, yes, I do want to make money still, of course, but I want to be happy. And I don't want to be happy only over the weekends and only 15 days a year, 15 days a year during vacation. I want it now. I want it in my business. I want it with my people. I want to feel excited to come and work with them. I want to see them excited because they're also fulfilling their purpose, helping me build a business. They're also fulfilling their purpose in life. So it became about having that clarity that I wanted both things. I wanted happiness, I wanted money, and my business became the vehicle for that. When you ask the questions, books started arriving, coaches that are so important because they shorten your path by years, by decades. So all of these resources arrived, and my business took off in 2 years. We increased 700%. And guess what? I found that happiness working with my people, with my clients, and with my vendors. So that's the story that I had to talk about. I had to say and had to narrate in my book, in my first book. The second one is coming, in a
Oh
month,
yeah.
but the first one is this particular story.
Oh, we're going to talk about that second book, but first, I want to go ahead and play a clip of this audiobook. Reminder to the audience as we get it ready, you can go below and request a free copy for the first 20 people. So go ahead and click as you hear a sample of Secrets of the Zen Business Warrior. We're close.
Almost there. Things
We're
happen.
so
That's fine.
we're so good on the conversation that the video is lagging a little bit. Okay, they're gonna try again. Um, okay, we're gonna come back to that in just a moment. Lena, you are writing a second book.
Mm-hmm.
I have two questions for you. Number one, what is the second book about? And number two, how has the process for you changed since you were writing your first book a year ago to now, as you've gone through the Author's Way process again?
Okay, now that's going to be a surprise spoiler, but I don't mind right now.
Ooh, okay. Spoiler alert.
Yes, yes. So actually what happened is that this first book was based on, there is a phrase that goes that business success is 80% on depending on the psychology of the business owner and 20% depending on the strategies and tactics. So my first book was more on that 80% mindset that you mentioned, uh, heart set, and everything, your feelings. How do you make your feelings and your mind and your beliefs work for you and not against you while you're building a business? My second book is about more on the tactics and the strategies on how to develop an amazing, the best team that you can have to help you develop, make your dreams come a reality. And that has everything to do with business culture, everything to do with the people that you surround yourself with, that inspires you to become more, and that you inspire them also to become more in the process. It has to be, it has to do about business purpose. So the second book is about business culture, and it's called, surprise spoiler, it's called Business Millionaire Business Culture. And I just love it because in this past year, my clients have been asking me whenever I talk in Secrets of the Zen Business Warrior about delivering happiness at work. And that is why Tony Hayes recommended my book, because I did everything on the delivering happiness at work philosophy. They always ask me in my speeches, how did you do it? What do you mean happiness and people and money and employees? How do you actually do it? And that's what my second book is all about. How did I do that? Through our culture.
I love it. I cannot wait to read it. I know that it is launching soon. Congratulations on that. So, before I get to the writing process again, I think we have the clip of book number one, Secrets of the Zen Business Warrior.
It's time to start loving your business again. Years ago, you decided to be your own boss, do what you loved, and make money, lots of it. Back then, you felt excitement, but now the thought of going to your own office makes you drag your feet. What went wrong? Secrets of the Zen Business Warrior will help you gain back your excitement and sustain your motivation. By harnessing your business creative power, you will be able to live the life you've always dreamt about.
It's beautiful. I'm so excited for you. Congratulations.
Thank
So,
you.
last question.
Yes. That my accent changed a little bit in the audio, but that's fine. Yes.
Just a little bit. Final question for you. The process of writing your first book ever versus writing your second book ever, what is the difference? How do you feel having gone through the process twice? What was it like for you?
I'm going to have to say that writing a book with the author incubator has been the best that has ever happened. The process is very, very clear. There is no getting lost. If ever you get a little bit confused and more on the emotions of what's going on while you're writing the book and after you launch it, there is always a loving hand by all the coaches, by Angela and everybody in the team that will hold your hand and with love guide you through the writing and through the launching and through the selling. So it's a beautiful journey. It will demand a lot from you. It's not a walk in the park in the sense that it will demand for you to become a bigger person. And that is when you get out of your comfort zone and you will be doing things that you've never done before. And maybe you'll throw a tantrum here and there. And that is fine. It's part of growing. And a tear or many here and there is also fine. You see, all of them are saying yes because we all have. Yes. Okay. So writing the second book, you already know what the path is, but it was with more, I'm gonna say it was more focused and with more love because I knew for a fact what my clients were asking me from 1 year of going to of coaching them, from 1 year to doing a speaking engagement. So I had direct feedback from them. So this second book felt more, I know what you need more, and it was the content was easier for me in my case. Both of them were a delight to write, and but writing a book, like Angela would say, it's not what makes a difference, it's that what happens after you write the book, and that is the best that this program has to offer.
And that is why we are here to celebrate that achievement today. Whether you write one book or two, it's such an achievement. You are an author and you are a best-selling author. Congratulations, Lena, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Trevor, and thank you everybody for watching here.
So our next author, Sandra Greneau. Unfortunately, she could not join us today, but I have her book. It is called Rewrite Your Life Without Dermatographia, the all-natural solution to managing hive-like welts and severe itching. If you are the type of person who sees bumps and welts pop up on your body and you are like, where'd this come from? Maybe I used a different detergent, or maybe, my belt was too tight. She has the idea that it may not necessarily be an external factor. It may actually be a symptom of something going on inside your body. So this book was written for the person who things pop up and they're like, I don't know what this is. Maybe I need to look into it. This book is for you. If you are the type of person, sometimes like me, where you're like, where did this bruise come from? I didn't bump into anything. It's actually potentially dermatographia, hive-like welts, and severe itching. We have a sample for you, so go ahead and play it.
There is an idiom that you may have heard mentioned as, quote, the writing was on the wall, end quote. It means that there was a warning that failure or disaster was on its way before the actual event took place. But what happens when the writing is on your skin? When you must always be careful about what touches your body. Scratching your skin causes it to turn red and creates welts, but you can't help it because the itchiness is intense. The remaining marks can stay on your skin for 30 minutes or last a whole day. Your skin is so sensitive that you can lightly write your name, and within seconds your skin will elevate and show your name in 3D. Is this a warning of something else going on? If so, what is happening?
The answer to what is happening is dermatographia. Written by Sandra Greneau, this book is called Rewrite Your Life Without Dermatographia, the all-natural solution to managing hive-like welts and severe itching. Get the book below. It is amazing. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here with us today, but we wish Sandra all of the best, and we're so, so, so proud of her. Our next author, one of my faves, Kate LaBrosse, author of This Is Me, Bipolar Free, Heal Your Mental Illness, and Create Your Authentic Life, with this gorgeous cover. Kate, Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you?
I'm awesome, Trevor. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Beautiful, beautiful. So walk me through, give me kind of the background of this book. This is about you.
Yep. This is my story. I have a history of trauma and mental illness, and mental illness runs in my family, especially on my dad's side. And I was diagnosed with first depression and then eventually bipolar disorder in my early 20s, and went through all of the traditional routes of mental health therapies, talk therapy, medications, lots of different medications. My medications were switched and upped and adjusted over a period of 10 years, many, many different times. And it was after my last suicide attempt. I was probably about 28 when I had my last suicide attempt, where I finally hit a point where I said, that's it, enough is enough. If I'm meant to be here in this life, in this body, there has to be a different way to do this. It cannot be meant to be lived this way. And that's really what sparked this whole healing journey for me, and brought me into the realms of natural foods and supplements and herbals and homeopathic remedies, more into the spiritual side of things and the energetic side of things, and carried me through this process. And it definitely is a process, but I'm happy to say that I have been medication and episode free for over a decade now. It's my 40th birthday in a week. And so, yeah, happy to say that my life is completely different than what it was when I was going through this.
That's beautiful, Kate. Audience, you can't see it, but all the authors are clapping and everyone in the room is clapping. Congratulations, Kate. Also, happy birthday. We're so excited to celebrate it a little bit early with you today.
Yeah.
So I know that for you, the medication, kind of the, I guess what Marianne Williamson would call it, like the disease care system, didn't particularly work. What exactly was it that did work for you?
Yeah, what worked was so I had a couple traditional more talk therapists through the process, and having them as a support system was really unbelievable. So when you find a good therapist, I think that that's amazing. And having that sort of structure was really good. It just, what didn't work was that only addressed like one piece of it, that didn't address the whole spectrum and really come at it from a holistic point of view.
Got it. Okay. So one thing I remember, the last time you and I talked in person here at the Author Incubator in Washington, you were making a big decision that had to do with leaning into this book. I know that you made that decision. Can you tell us what it is?
I left my corporate job. And I did that in June. And it's a company that I worked at for 5 years. I have worked in the natural products industry. That was the bipolar journey that brought me into that industry. And I've worked in that industry for the last decade. And the company that I worked with for the last 5 years is amazing. But I just hit a point after writing this book that everything started shifting and changing for me. And so I left my job, and I'm running my own consulting and speaking business.
Beautiful. So I know that you've been working with some clients as well. Can you tell me a story about someone who is also on the journey alongside you and had some amazing results?
Yeah. So actually, Trevor, my business has sort of taken a different route here. I have worked with clients one-on-one, and I have had some really great successes there, but really what my business is moving into is really more of in the influencer space, and then doing corporate consulting for companies that really want to move more holistically into natural supplements and natural healing remedies, a lot in the CBD space, and doing corporate consulting with them, and then speaking and advocacy work for holistic healing.
Beautiful. So I would assume then that your second book is, which by the way is in progress.
It's in progress.
It's a little bit of a pivot.
Yeah, I mean, so the second book is, like you said, it's in process. And that book is called Crazy Making. And it's really what, in the research that I have done and in the companies that I have worked with and the people that I have interacted with, what I believe to be the true causes of mental illness, and that it is not a chemical imbalance in your brain. That is a symptom. That is a symptom of mental illness. It is not the cause. And so kind of looking at all the root causes from all our different systems in our body, from the physical to the mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic, and how those really come together to create mental illness.
Okay. So I think it's interesting that you're building a business separate to that, which is like a pivot I did not see coming.
I know.
Tell me like where those intersect for you.
Yeah. So where I see this going right now, there's sort of like two pillars of the business, right? Is this like corporate consulting piece, and then there's this speaking and writing piece of it. Where I see them coming together at some point is really more in this influencer and advocacy space, and doing some like spokesperson type work for these companies that are creating these truly holistic healing supplements and products for the world, kind of helping to bring those to the masses and explain it. Where I feel like my sort of sweet spot is, and where it's always been in this industry, is an ability to really kind of break down some of these things, some of these remedies, some of these teachings into a way that like someone who doesn't know anything about this world can understand. So I don't want to talk at people from this level, up here. I really am able to kind of go, okay, you don't know anything about natural healing. I didn't either a decade ago. Let me kind of share with you like how to really like dip your toe in here and start this process.
Beautiful. So I want to go ahead and play a clip from This Is Me, Bipolar Free, Heal Your Mental Illness and Create Your Authentic Life.
Bipolar disorder is a category that includes 3 different conditions: bipolar 1, bipolar 2, and cyclothymic disorder. People with bipolar disorders have extreme and intense emotional states that occur at distinct times, called mood episodes. These mood episodes are categorized as manic, hypomanic, or depressive. What a benign way to define something that is an all-consuming, life-altering, crazy-making roller coaster way of living. Or maybe more appropriately put, a way of existing. Because when you're in the throes of this mental illness, you're not really living. You're hanging on for dear life, doing what you can do to just stay stable and sane, to try and keep your mind from telling your body to take a swan dive off the tallest cliff you can find, or to not walk out the door and keep walking with the hope of disappearing forever.
I can imagine there's a lot of people who can empathize with those feelings. And I think that you are perfectly positioned to be the one to help them walk through this journey. I love it. Congratulations, Kate.
Thank you, Trevor. I'm so excited.
The last words in your book are, quote, you said, "Be who you were created to be and you will set the world on fire." I am ready to be ablaze. Kate LaBrosse, author of This Is Me, Bipolar Free, Heal Your Mental Illness and Create Your Authentic Life. She is also the upcoming author of, Kate, tell us, what's the next book called?
Working title is called Crazy Making.
Crazy Making.
Yep.
Congratulations. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right. We have another author who unfortunately could not join us today, but I'm going to tell you something. This book right here, I wish that I had this book when I was a teenager. It is called Your Teen's Miraculous Brain, 8 Drug-Free Essentials for Overcoming Teen Mental Illness. You don't even know you have a mental illness as a teen, generally, unless you're diagnosed with something. But having read this book, I feel like it would have genuinely helped me through a whole lot of stuff. So I want to send thanks and love to Dr. Nina Farley Bates. Unfortunately, she couldn't join us today, but we do have a clip from this book.
Parents, mental health experts are failing you if they are not taking into account your whole child, body, mind, and spirit. Psychiatry is failing you if, instead of getting to know what's really going on with your child, they send you away with a prescription medication and nothing else. Therapists, too, are failing you if their only prescription is for a behavioral change that fails to take into account the mind-body connection. What soul doctoring has come to is a false notion that either behavioral techniques or medication alone is the definitive answer for your child, when in fact it is only part of the solution.
This book is nearly 200 pages of juicy, excellent content that I think for parents out there, for people who are struggling to empathize with the crazy brains of teenagers, this book will help you do that. I mean, the first chapter is called Soul Doctoring. How deep is that? It's amazing. It's available below. For the first 20 people, go ahead and request that audiobook. You will love it. She's got sections on confronting tough teen problems, sex ed, the balanced biome, restorative sleep. I barely slept as a youth because I was just trying to be awake for no reason in the middle of the night. And honestly, I wish I had created a better sleep cycle for myself before I went to college and made it worse. That book is called Your Teen's Miraculous Brain, 8 Drug-Free Essentials for Overcoming Teen Mental Illness by Dr. Nina Farley Bates. We send her love and congratulations on her audiobook launch today. I've got one more author who could not join us today. Her name is Dr. Tanzania Davis Black. We got a lot of doctors, y'all. The book is entitled When Life Breaks, Raising Children During Divorce. It's got a beautiful cover. I don't know if you can see this. It's gorgeous. I'm gonna go ahead and play a clip, and then I'm gonna tell you something about it.
Many of us entering divorce are blindsided and unprepared for what divorce entails. This lack of preparation is only exacerbated by the information that is readily available. The majority of the information is legal and does not seem to account for the fact that the life we share with someone else is about more than assets or other aspects that can easily be divided by lawyers or the court system. What this means is that very few people have a clue as to what to expect or how to navigate the minefield of divorce when children are involved.
So Dr. Tanzania Davis Black went through a 3-year divorce with her now ex-husband, along with 2 children who at the time were 3 and 6. Imagine trying to explain over a 3-year protracted process what's happening to your family, the decisions that you're making as parents, navigating the relationship with your soon-to-be ex-spouse. She has written it all down. It is a process called motivation. So it's got a lot of steps, but it is to center you and holistically make sure that you are good for your children, and you are actually a good ex-spouse to your soon-to-be ex. The book is entitled When Life Breaks, Raising Children During Divorce by Dr. Tanzania Davis Black. We thank her and we send her all the love today on her audiobook launch. Next up, an author who is here in person, and she got a big book. It is called Sick of Being Sick, The Woman's Holistic Guide to Conquering Chronic Illness. I told you we had a lot of doctors. Dr. Brenda Walding, hello.
Hi, Trevor. How are you?
I am so good. I love this book. I love that it is definitely comprehensive. It is almost 300 pages at 6x9. It's big, it is hefty, and I want you to tell me everything you have to tell me about it.
That could be a while. So yeah, this book, it really is, shares my story of overcoming chronic illness, a decade-long journey of debilitating, life-threatening chronic illness, as well as breast cancer that sort of spans this 10-year time period. And, this book really was my love letter to women of like, if I could go back and give myself all this information that I have learned to help me to truly heal and thrive, and to take this chronic illness and use this as an opportunity for me to really heal and live a life that I love, which I believe is possible. This book was written to be a roadmap for women to follow so that they don't have to struggle and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, so much pain, so much suffering that I went through. And so I wanted to create this book as like, here's this roadmap to help you navigate chronic illness so that I can help women to avoid maybe some of the suffering that I went through.
So I see in the book that you have 9 essentials. Can you walk me through what those are and kind of how you decided what was essential and what was non-essential?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the framework that I use for these 9 essentials, I call it wholehearted wellness. And so really for me, it's this holistic, heart-centered approach to healing. And so these 9 essentials sort of come under that umbrella. And so for me, for example, I went from being a Division I collegiate athlete, super healthy and vibrant, to being on disability as a physical therapist and really struggling and had all these symptoms and doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, to, okay, I'm taking all the drugs and getting worse and worse. And so I started to discover natural healing. So I started to change my diet, change my lifestyle, and incorporate these things, and really dove into natural and alternative healing. And for 8 years, I got better and better, but I was still, I was still struggling a bit with pain and different things. So 8 years into the journey, almost feeling like, okay, I'm like 90% there, and then was diagnosed with breast cancer. So that really caused me to dive deep into my heart and go, what am I missing? I've been studying healing for 8 years and doing all the things. And just like with the veracity of an athlete, I'm going to heal myself, and then was diagnosed with cancer. So that really opened up this whole world of really tapping into the emotional and the spiritual and the mental aspect of healing. So these 9 essentials really encompass the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of healing, as well as really the importance of learning to get out of our heads and really into our heart to really lead and guide us on this healing journey, because there's never 2 healing journeys that are the same. And so it was, these 9 essentials come from my journey, as well as my in-depth research on who are these men and women that are not only healing from chronic illness and adversity, but thriving in the wake of it. And so I looked and studied, and that's where these 9 essentials come from. And these are the 9 essentials that have helped me overcome cancer, chronic illness, and now live a life that I love even more, that I never knew was possible until, after cancer. Cancer actually was one of the greatest gifts of my life. So,
I don't know how it feels go through cancer, to feel like your body is attacking itself for a long period of time, but I can imagine coming out the other side of that is probably the happiest fucking feeling you've ever had.
Yes, and it's like, that's the thing is the shift in perception for like so many years of like, why is this happening to me? This is like, I have to heal myself. I have to find all the answers, to the shift in perception of, this is a divine opportunity for me to really come home to myself and to my heart. And it's a continual journey. I believe healing means return to whole, and that we're all going to die at some point. And so really learning to shift the perception on chronic illness as an invitation and an opportunity for us to really experience wholeness and to live a life that we love, which I believe is possible. And that's the premise of my book.
Beautiful. So now, are you working with clients who are undergoing chronic illness and walking them through that process?
I am. Yes.
Tell me about one person
Okay.
has gotten all the way through the journey, has been to the other side, the promised land with you. And, when they write their book, they're going to be putting you in the acknowledgements.
Yes. So, gosh, there's several, but one that really kind of sticks out to me is this woman that came to me, dealing with chronic, mysterious autoimmune type issues, chronic pain, digestive issues, mental illness. She had several diagnoses, and I just kind of put those to the side and really focus like that wholehearted approach. And, after our time together, she, was a significant reduction in pain. She was like a 1 out of 10 pain. The digestion was so much improved. She lost weight, which was just a great added benefit. And then she was finally able to feel joy again and to dream again and to really start realizing that she doesn't have to wait until everything is clear up in her physical body, that actually the energy at which going into that place of dreaming and joy and love and connection, and that was the place at which the body begins to heal itself. And so the greatest gift from hearing her say, like, I have freedom now, and I'm now able to dream again and be happy. And so that really that's what I love about my work, is just really allowing and helping, I should say partnering with women to really create a life they love and overcome these challenges.
So if you are a person or related to a person or friends with a person who is undergoing a chronic illness, Dr. Brenda Walding has the journey and the solution for you. I want to play a clip from the audiobook, and then I got one more question for you.
Okay.
How could this really be happening to me? I thought. What on earth did I do to deserve this? Every single thing I had going for me, everything I had prided myself on being, was stripped away from me. The beautiful, smart, successful athlete and physical therapist was gone. I wasn't exactly sure who I was anymore. All I knew was that I was the sick girl who was grieving the loss of the woman she used to be. Prior to this moment, I never understood why anyone would want to take their own life. I couldn't understand how things could ever get bad enough to end it all, until now. I wouldn't say I was suicidal, but I laid there and gave God a little piece of my mind. If I'm going to have to keep living like this, I'd rather you go ahead and take me now. This is most certainly no way to live. I'm good. I'm ready to go. There is no point in me being here any longer. Oh, and I'm pissed, by the way. This is pretty cruel, isn't it? What did I do to deserve this?
I mean, many of us have cussed out the universe, but you put it into words brilliantly. I completely understand where you were in that moment.
Yeah.
I have a big question for you. What's next?
So yeah, this process of writing this book, I also want to say that it was also part of my healing journey to write the book. Like a continual process to really integrate the past decade of my life. And what it really did was sort of fuel this knowing and passion that this is my sacred work. Which before that, before cancer, before that, I was working as a physical therapist and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed helping people, and worked as with my husband in a nutrition and lifestyle company. And writing this book made me realize like my work is with women and to really helping them in a deep and intimate way to heal and to not only heal and survive, but to thrive and to love their life. And so my work is, one-on-one coaching, and I really love working in groups, doing women's circles, and helping women connect with other women, because I believe sisterhood and connection is such a potent form of healing. And so that's my work, is retreats, community work, and one-on-one coaching that it's really created a passion for me. So it's been a great, beautiful journey.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for giving me such a good rundown of this book, but also giving me the quote that I'm keeping, and I'm going to be using it, the return to whole. That's so pretty. And I think that should be the name of the second book. That's all I'm saying. Dr. Brenda Walding, author of Sick of Being Sick, The Woman's Holistic Guide to Conquering Chronic Illness. We're so proud of you. Congratulations, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Trevor. Thank you, everyone.
Next up, a book that has such a special place in my heart because it's one of the first books I was fortunate enough to go all the way through the process here at the Author Incubator with. This book is entitled Love Letters to a Stripper, Reclaiming Your True Power. The author is Angelina Lombardo. She is here with us. Angelina, my love, how are you?
Well, thank you, Trevor, and I'm really happy that I am here.
I am so happy that you're here as well. For those who are like, well, I'm not a stripper, what's this book going to do for me? Tell them something that this book is going to do for them.
So I think along the lines of the other authors, I have approached my this book, this love letter to a sex worker, from the scope of the whole human. So that would be mind, body, and spirit. My book actually helps individuals in the sex industry as well as out of this sex industry live more aligned, wealthy, and powerful lives. And I walk my reader through the process to gain the confidence to invest in themselves. So it answers a deeper question about desperation, and whether that's emotional, financial, or psychological, or actually physical, when you're looking for financial freedom.
Beautiful. So you are one of the authors that we've kept up with pretty closely over the past few months since you have launched your book. So I know the story, but please walk me through what life's been like now that you're an author, now that you're working with clients. What's life?
What's life? It's been very interesting. I have to say, after writing the book, I actually came to know that people who are in these sex workers' lives, the people that are in the sex industry, their family members, really actually wanted to gain knowledge in how to support their loved ones who were in the sex industry. That started a huge communication process, which I've been able to be a part of in healing their relationships with their family. And anytime you have a piece that's healed, it's integrated back into the whole, and it can clear a lot of desperation, actually. So people have been able to move out of the industry. I would also say that, and I'm sure we'll talk about it in a little while, because I've actually pivoted in a certain sense. I still do advocacy work with sex workers. And also I was very surprised, and this may sound odd, but I was very surprised at just how many people are in the sex industry who you wouldn't know are in the sex industry. So I was surprised, but I still do that work, but I'm now focusing on a bigger, I wouldn't say a bigger picture. I would say it shifted after I wrote the book. And women who have been through trauma are coming to me to actually find their voice, so that they can, so that actually informs their work as a creative spiritual entrepreneur.
Beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and play a clip from this audiobook, and then we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about that pivot you made.
Okay, great.
Hello, you. Strippers are humans. We need love too. This entire book is my love letter to you. To all of you beautiful souls, I see you, and I know who you truly are. You are beautiful, divine, lovingly made, and unbelievably powerful. Embracing our darkest edges as humans is deep work. I consider it an honor to be a part of your journey. I wrote this book for you, and for the you who you would like to become. We are infinitely wise, and pure love is our destiny. My desire for you is to know that on a cellular level, one that leaves no room for denial in the wisdom of your heart.
No room for denial in the wisdom of your heart. Angelina, that letter, it's the letter that opens this book. Why did you put that in the front? Why did you write that?
Oh, first off, I'm a little emotional myself here. I really wanted to reach my reader in a deep place where only they exist. And to me, that's in those quiet moments. And the love letter is my connection, or that I don't know exactly how to say it, except that I wanted her to hear that voice there, and to realize she had that voice already in existence inside of her. So it's not what you would think from a book called Love Letters to a Stripper, which is exactly what I wanted to do. It was purposeful and intentional. So really, I wanted to reach that person who was searching and in desperation.
So now, as you've gone through the journey of publishing this book, launching your audiobook, you are writing a second book, and you've made a pivot. I think it's safe to say that you found her and now you have some other lessons to teach her. Tell me more.
So I myself have been an entrepreneur for 28 years.
She's done everything, ladies and gentlemen.
I definitely have. It has not all been intentional. I went from homelessness and poverty to where I am now today, which is 28 years later. And I have the health wealth, and the success that I had been searching for through my entire process. And so I now speak with women, like I had mentioned, the women who are creative, spiritual entrepreneurs, or they're actually going from one iteration of who they are, wanting to step into their power and into the next phase or level in their journey, and to create that success and that wealth, whatever that actually looks like for them. So I walk women through that process of breaking generational victimhood cycles into realizing their true wealth and potential.
So that book will be launching soon. Can you tell us the title?
Yes, I love the title. It's called The Spiritual Entrepreneur: Quantum Leap into the Next Level of Your Impact and Abundance.
Come on, Quantum Leap. Okay. So
Right?
She's gone all the way atomic, ladies and gentlemen. Angelina Lombardo, one of my favorite humans. I'm so excited for you. Congratulations on the launch of your audiobook, on the upcoming launch of your second book, on building this business and finding the whole you so well and being able to define her so well that you're able to share her with other people.
That's right.
We're really proud of you.
Thank you very much. And I love you too.
Congratulations. Well, I hope that you all have enjoyed this audiobook launch. The theme was drop the excuses and get your book done. That's been the theme of all of our broadcasts this week. And you have heard from several authors who actually did it. It is not impossible. I'm going to stick to the script going forward, but I just want to tell you, you got some really good nuggets of wisdom today from these people live, and imagine what you can get from the books. Make sure you click the button below to request your free copy of the audiobook. And if you are in the first 20 to request it, we will send it to you for free. You will also see links to buy the books. They are available for pre-order. As soon as they are available, Barnes & Noble and friends will send them your way. I hope from listening to the authors share their stories today, you've gotten some clarity on exactly how a book can make a difference when it's written from a place of service to its readers. Each of the authors you saw featured today has spent the last few months building a transformational business that will bring hope, healing, and transformation to hundreds, even thousands of readers. Hopefully, after watching our two-part event, you'll feel a little inspired. We want you to share your own story. If you have a message in your heart that you're ready to share with the world, then I encourage you to take the leap of faith now. These authors did it. So many more authors who you're going to meet over the next few months have done it. Here at the Author Incubator, I promise we aren't necessarily looking for big social media followings or, the Mark Twain-esque best writers in the world. What we're looking for is people on a mission to change thousands of lives who will let nothing stop them from making the difference they were born to make. If that sounds like you and you know who you are, then I encourage you to click the apply button on this page or go to theauthorincubator.com/apply right now to submit your application. That is theauthorincubator.com/apply. We're expecting to receive more than 500 applications just from this event alone for only 20 available spots each month. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret because I love you. You've gone on this journey with us, so we know that you actually possess the qualities we're looking for. So if you apply right now, through this page, we're going to jump you to the front of the line. Just make sure you tell us in your application why you're committed to finally embarking on your book journey so you can make a difference in readers' lives. Like I said, the theme is drop the excuses, friends. Thanks again, in conclusion, for joining us today. And make sure you get the books you've seen today before you go. If you know someone who could use the messages of hope and healing and transformation inside these books, then please share the link with them too. It's so, so important for us to get the books in the hands and hearts of readers who need it most. These authors wrote them for that reason. In the end, we want you to know that here at the Author Incubator, we are changing the world one book at a time.